Welcome boys and girls from YouTube. My name is Sloth and this is the SlothForge. And in today's video I'm going to show you something very important. Now if your server is exactly as old as mine, then today opened an extremely valuable event. But if your server is a little bit less old, a little bit younger, now that's the word I've been looking for. If your server is a little bit younger, it started a couple days later than my server, then this event is going to arrive on your server in the next couple of days. And this is very important for you as well, just so you can prepare a little bit, because this is actually, it's an insanely valuable event that they just released, and it is helping many players out there. It's a very nice event. And as you probably already guessed it, thanks to the thumbnail, we are going to forge some gear, and we can really much form the gear in the particular way that we want it, that we need it. And this is insane. Now, if you've watched my video from yesterday, where I've been showcasing Flora a little bit, my account is pretty developed. But I have one problem. I have not a single strong proficiency mythical chest. And when it comes to those mythical items, they help you skyrocket your damage insane. So, for example, the Strike, the Unprepared set, or when it comes to Flora, the Death Record set. These are two insanely strong sets that help you deal so much more damage. And this is why I've been missing a lot of damage, because I still had to use this set. And don't get me wrong, the Platinum Knight quality set is definitely a strong set for Flora. But when it comes to the best in-slot items, then we want Strike the Unprepared or Death Record, preferably the Death Record for Flora. But you can actually have a Death Record and Strike the Unprepared, because these sets can appear on the gloves and on the chest as well. So one slot is the mark, not the mark, I'm sorry, the Death Record, and the other slot should be the Strike the Unprepared, if you want to build her like perfectly fine. And thanks to this event, every one of us is going to have a chance, and it is actually not a chance, because you can really force the gear that you want, the gear that you need. So this is actually, it's a very great event in my opinion, and I'm very looking forward to it. So let me explain the event real quick. You can always click on this little button and on the events and have a description of the rules and how exactly the event works. Now, in this case, I do not want to read this for you, because you can obviously read this on your own. I just want to show you what the event is going to look like. So we have these treasure requests, and they are super easy. They are consume some stamina and complete some spins in the magic chest. In the magic chest, not magic chest, sorry. So as you can see, I already spinned once, just to have an idea of how it looks. So these quests are super easy, and then provide you with the magic navigation stone. And we need those stones for the magic chest. So let's have a look at the magic chest a bit further. Here in the chest, we spin the wheel. So let's spin the wheel a little bit. And ideally, we want to reach high numbers. So on my first spin, I've reached a 1. On my second spin, I reached a 2. Let's keep on spinning this a little bit. Seems like there is... Okay. So now we have a bit more luck. And as you can see, the more we spin, the more of the puzzle or of the chessboard gets revealed. So let's keep on spinning a little bit. We will probably not reveal the whole chessboard on the very first day, but it's absolutely fine. You do not have to rush anything when it comes to this event. Actually, we have 14 days. And as far as I'm aware of, we can only forge. We can only forge one piece of equipment. I'm not 100% sure if it is actually only one piece of equipment. Maybe we can forge more pieces, but I'm understanding this as that we are only able to forge one piece. So, and like I said, we have 2 weeks time, so there is no need to rush anything. Just take your time, because actually, if you are able to choose to forge your perfect gear, this is very important to think in depth what is the best gear, which gear provides the best benefits for your account. So luckily for me, this is a very easy answer for the question, which gear is the most important gear for me. I really need a proficiency chest. I think I have a very good attack. No, I do not have a good attack glove as well. So actually, maybe I'm going for an attack glove. And this is the first very important thing that I want to mention now real quick. Here you have the possibility you are able to choose between the different slots, and you should definitely not go with a helmet or a weapon, because the helmets and the weapons, they have fixed primary stats. A weapon always provides attack, and the helmet always provides HP. But when it comes to the chests and the gloves, they have many different possible stats. So for example, a glove can have attack, HP, defense, and also attack percentage, HP percentage, defense percentage. But they can also have critical rate and crit damage. And so it is way harder to get a good glove or a good chest than to get a good weapon or a good helmet. Just because there are way more different drops possible when it comes to the lower row, to the low gear, lower placed gear. I have no idea how to call it. You know what I mean, yeah? The chest, the armor, and the gloves. It is way harder to get very good gear on these two slots. So this is why I would highly recommend you to forge either a chest or a glove. And the second very important part is that actually I would suggest you to go for an offensive piece of gear, just because offensive pieces help you in many different areas, and later on in the game we want high damage numbers. So for now it's only the vortex, but later on in the season there will be more of these world boss contents where we just want high damage numbers, and there it just helps us way more if we have good DPS pieces, good DPS gear. So this is just my personal point of view. Maybe if you just have many perfectly offensive items, maybe for your personal account an HP or defense glove would be better, but generally speaking I would recommend you to go for offensive stats. Now, when it comes to offensive stats, I think the two best offensive stats when it comes to gloves are either crit damage, not crit rate, crit damage, or attack percentage. Now, we have many different ways to get crit rate, so I prefer crit damage over crit rate when it comes to the main stat on your glove. And generally speaking, most damage dealers out there scale better off with crit damage than with attack percentage. But if you have some damage dealers like Flora, who deal derivative damage, like Flora for example, or Remza, then those kind of damage dealers do not want crit damage, and crit rate as well, because their damage comes from derivative damage, and derivative damage cannot critical hit. So it depends a little bit if you prefer attack percentage or crit damage, but these are by far the best options for your offensive gloves. And when it comes to the chest, it's actually nearly the same. Most cases you just want attack percentage, but in some particular cases, for example Premza or Flora, they scale a little bit better with proficiency. So this is why, for me, for my particular account, I'm going with proficiency. I'm going probably, it is not 100% sure, but probably I will go for the proficiency chest on Flora, just because I'm in desperately need of a proficiency chest. And she scales insanely well with enlightenment or proficiency. I'm repeating myself on this one, but yeah, proficiency and enlightenment is the exact same stat. It's just a weird translation, and they will probably change this sooner or later. So this is the first part. I would highly recommend you to either go with gloves or a chest, and probably you're fine when you go with an offensive piece. I think it will help your account a bit more. So now let's keep on spinning the last 3 wheels. Another one. That's sad. Another one. Yeah, it seems like a 1 is a bit more likely to appear. And there comes the 4. Perfect. So as you can see now, I've cleared some rows. So then I've got once I've cleared the row, I get the reward that is shown at the end of a row. So on the first part of this event, you just get some items, some resources. Now let's get the last 2 spins. Let's hope that we can reach. Yes, perfectly. This is what I've wanted. Now we've actually cleared every single row. Okay, I did not expect it to be that fast. Because what I actually wanted to show you is that, yes, actually that's it. If you once cleared the whole board, you get 5 of these gold meltium. And this is what the whole event is about. You want to acquire gold meltium. You want to acquire as much gold meltium as possible. Even though I'm actually not sure, I think in the end, everyone, even if you roll like only 1s and 2s, you should easily acquire enough gold meltium because, yeah, this event is more than 2 weeks going on. So I think there is enough time for everyone to acquire enough gold meltium. One quick reminder or one quick disclaimer, which is actually very important in my opinion, is there is the treasury shop right now where you can spend your gold meltium. Please do not, under any circumstance, use your gold meltium in the treasury shop. At least for now. Maybe in the very end of the event, if you have already forged your gear, and if you can actually really only forge 1 piece of gear, then after you've forged your gear, there is no need to save your gold meltium even further. Then you just can use it in the exchange shop. But until then, please do not use your gold meltium on any other place than at the furnace. We want our gold meltium used wisely, and that's it pretty much. So here now we are. So here we can choose what we want to forge. So in this case, I will probably, I'm not 100% sure about this yet, but I will probably go with the chest, and I will most likely use the strike, the unprepared, no, wrong, the death record, yes? Derivative damage one, yes, exactly. And if you forge your gear here, make sure to recheck everything that you select at least once or twice, because there is no going back once you've forged your gear. So just make sure that you do no mistakes. And now I've chosen the slot, so in this case a chest. I've chosen the set. So let's have a look what we also can choose, because yes, it is so generous actually from them that we can forge just perfect gear. So in this case, I can choose a proficiency chest from the death record set, and I can also even choose the stats, the substats that I want. So in this case, I'm not 100% sure what are the best stats when it comes to this chest, because we have 4 possible stats, and I will probably go with attack and attack percentage. And now it gets a bit more complicated, because actually on every single hero out there that wants proficiency, you do not want critical rate and critical damage. So I will probably not go with this. Most likely I will either go with HP and defense percentage, just to help my damage dealer be a bit more tankier, just to help him survive a little bit longer. Or maybe I will go with something like accuracy or resistance and HP, just because resistance is, sometimes at least, it is nice to have. For example, when we go into the arena, resistance is actually a relatively useful stat, but I'm not 100% entirely sure. Probably I will use this for my secondary attributes. Now, if you go with an attack chest, can you please... Well, hello? I cannot reset this. Why can I not reset my stats? Okay, that's strange. It's no problem. So if you want to go with an attack percentage chest, then the substats you want are definitely attack, crit rate, crit damage, and then maybe accuracy, maybe something for a bit more tankiness. But then these are your 3 secondary attributes that you definitely will go for. But this is, yeah, this is for now, this is the chest that I'm probably going to forge. I'm also using the flat stat attack, even though it's not the best stat out there. It still helps us push the damage a bit further. And yeah, once again, critical rate and critical damage are very, very good secondary attributes. But when it comes to this particular chest, using proficiency, then we do not want attack. Now, the same if you go with a glove or your proficiency damage dealer. So in this case, your glove has attack percentage. And then as well, you do not want critical hit and critical damage on your secondary attribute. If you forge the attack chest, yeah, the attack glove, then just do what I just said. If you forge the crit damage glove, then you should probably just go with attack, crit rate, and the last option is just free, absolutely free of your choice. These are the best, in my personal opinion, the best possible options how you could use the furnace, the forge, as of now. Okay, so that's wrong. Have a look what we also are able to do when it comes to this event. We can also guarantee... No, this is not true, is it? Can we actually also force how it is going to roll? Wow. Okay, this is insane. This is just insane. So in this case, this is the chest that I will probably build, just because attack percentage is a bit more valuable than flat attack. And if you build the attack gloves for proficiency, then you should definitely use the proficiency substat and boost it up as high as possible. Let me show you this real quick just for clarification. For example, if you go like this, then we go with an attack, or if you are using it for... what else could we take? It does not matter at all, to be fair. So if you are using this piece for a proficiency damage dealer, this is only for a proficiency damage dealer, then you will definitely just build your glove like this. Attack percentage, which high numbers of proficiency. And the last possible option is crit damage. And this is also actually a or this could actually be a very interesting piece. Because as you can see now, you could, in theory, craft a glove that has 80% crit damage and something between 15 and 25% crit rate. This is just a perfect glove. And this is actually not the perfect piece. You do not want the death record in this particular case. In this particular case, you would most likely use the strike. The unprepared, use a crit damage. Now, let me do this one more time. With the crit rate, attack, HP, and give it a go. And then just max the crit rate. And that's it. Now, I have no idea what happens if I press next, so let's find this out together. The death record is the perfect set for me, probably. I'm just doing this for the case that actually if I press next the last time that it's already creating the piece. I do not think that it will forge the piece, but you never know, so just play this safe, So the worst case is that I would generate or forge this chest, and this chest would just help my account so much. So let's have a look what happens if we press next now. All right, so now, okay, so on the last page, you can observe, you can look at the final gear, and as we can see, we need 50. We need 50 out of this gold meltium. This is actually a bit, so you want to clear the chessboard, if possible, like once every 1.5 days. Okay, it is not that easy, especially if you are very, very unlucky. Is it actually possible that some people out there are so unlucky that they will not be able to forge the gear, the mythic gear? This would be very unlucky, and I don't think that this will actually happen. I think that there is something like a built-in pity, but we will see this in the future. I think that's it. So yeah, but as you can see, you want to clear those treasury quests so you get enough of these navigation stones. So yeah, this is actually all that I wanted to show you. So the treasury quest, do them. Please don't forget to do your treasury quests on a daily basis, because as you can see, first, they are extremely easy. Just consume 180 stamina, and that's it pretty much. Then spin the wheel, because then you get the materials to spin the wheel. So spin the wheel every day, spend 180 energy every day. Everyone is spending 180 stamina a day if you place actively. So just do your daily stuff, and don't forget to collect your treasury quest. And then you should probably definitely be able to forge your mythic armor or your mythic glove within the next 2 weeks. Okay, nice. So that's it for today's video. I hope this helps you out there to understand this event a little bit more. If you have any questions, or actually if you have any ideas, or if you already know what exact gear you are going to forge, let me know in the comments below. I'm very interested, because I think that there are not only 1 or 2 possible options. There are probably many different options. But in the end, I would say that everyone out there, and I hope that everyone out there is going to do this, you should either forge a glove or a chest. Even if you have already like some very good gloves and chests, I would still highly recommend you to forge another chest or another glove, just because they are way harder to come by than your helmet and your weapon. And also, like for example, this perfect glove with 80% crit damage and maybe even 25% crit rate, they just are so valuable. And one last thing to mention is, I've been looking for this like for 10 minutes now, and I cannot find it, but I'm 100% sure that in the new version of the game, unlike the older version of the game, we are actually able to take a bit of gear with us in the next seasons. So the gear that you are going to forge in this event is most likely, like to 90% at least, one of the best pieces that you will have on your whole account, and you are able to take them with you in the next seasons as well. So this is why I'm very, very hyped for this event. I think it is very generous, and it just helps every single account out there. So don't miss out on this event. And if you are watching this video and you are only in the first couple of days or the first week of your server, and you are a bit demotivated because you do not get the gear that you want, so here's a piece of motivation for you, just to show you it is actually not that big of a deal, because soon you will be able to forge the perfect gear for your account. But yeah, that's it for today's video, and I hope that this helps you out there. If you have any questions, like I already said, or any ideas how you could use this event even better, please let me know in the comments below. I'm very interested in your opinions, and see you in the next one. Bye guys.